If you have maxed out credit cards and it's hard for you to get a loan from your bank or credit union, I'm going to show you some of the best places that I would go to if I need financial help. And if you stick around, I'll actually show you two places that you can get a loan up to $50,000 with no interest. And it has nothing to do with your credit. All right. So, first, let's just jump into these loans. All right. Now, this here is Heart Payday Loan. Heart Payday Loans is a platform to help people find loans. So if you're on disability, if you're on any type of government benefits, this does not disqualify you. If you have bad credit, if you have a high DTI, that means debt to income ratio, this lender will still work with you. Long as you have an active checking account with regular deposits in it. All right. Now, this is a platform. All right. And yes, they do use tribal lenders. And so, with some of those interest on the loans, they may not fit your criteria because you can see here their interest is from 5.99 up to 35.99. Okay. And so, that being said, some of the loans, again, may not fit your criteria. All right. But this here is a platform. And I want to show you why I keep saying platform versus a direct lender. This is post lake lending. Okay. Now they are a direct lender. They are a tribal lender. Okay. And so by them being a tribal lender, as you can see here, they go from 1,500 up to 1,500 the first time, and then returning, you get up to 5,000. Now, why I'm pointing them out is because with direct lenders, they don't jump through all the loopholes it is when you have bad credit. Okay. And with certain tribal lenders, they're not in all 50 states. Okay, so they may not serve your state, but here's some of the criterias: have a job or regular source of income. Okay, so that means child support, alimony, government benefits, have a valid email, valid phone number. All right, reside in a state that actually offers the loan. Now, some of you all may have Chime. Okay, and so in terms of if you're using Chime as your checking account, then before you applying for this here type of loan, you may want to reach out to them and ask them, do they accept Chime? Now, I'm going to tell you, I always mention this. If you're working with Chime, then I would go to my local credit union or community bank, even like some of the major banks like Chase, they offer a second chance checking account. And so what that means, if you're already in check systems, if you're already in early warning systems, then they won't give you a checking account that would allow you to overdraft. They will only give you a checking account that allow you to take deposits and to pay your bills. Okay. However, it's better than working with Chime because you have more flexibility. Plus, they have secured products that you can help to rebuild your credit. And by the way, for those of you that are struggling to rebuild your credit, we do offer a service that we actually write the letters and give those letters to you to send out. Plus, we have a expedited service as well to help you rebuild your credit if that's something you're struggling with, or to help you get business funding and personal funding as well. That being said, the next lender we're talking about, and I talked about this in a previous video, which is Credit Fresh. And the reason I bring this up, because instead of it being a loan, this is a line of credit. And I always tell you, whenever you can find a lender that's willing to be flexible enough with you to offer you a line of credit, take the line of credit. The reason this is important is because with this line of credit, once you borrow it, it's like a revolving credit card. Once you borrow it and pay it back, you can continue using without reapplying. So that's the reason why I would actually go after this here line of credit with Credit Fresh. Okay. And yes, they are a tribal lender as well. And then if you've been following me, I tell you about some of my previous videos in terms of These are the type of lenders you want to look for. If you're tired of getting hard inquiries on your credit file and you have an iffy credit file, then these are the type of lenders you want to go for, because these loans are not going to show up on your personal credit, which that means they're not going to push up your DTI, your debt to income ratio. So that's the reason why I'm pointing this here out. All right. Now, the next lender we're talking about is checking the cash. Now, with checking the cash, they offer multiple loans, but we're only going to be focusing on is the installment loan because it goes up to $5,000. Now, with checking the cash, you may can do it online as well, because a lot of people may be embarrassed. You working a job and stuff, but you're just not making enough money to make ends meet, and you need that extra income, okay, to help buy groceries and stuff. And by the way, I do have a service that I'm gonna show you that'll actually help you pay your rent, your gas bill, your utility bills, and stuff like that. So stick with me in this video. I'm gonna actually show you that. Now, another place, if you're worried about a hard pull on the credit, is Albert. So if you're working a job and stuff, the interesting thing about Albert, they offer the $1,000 up to $1,000 loans, right? However, people are not even aware that Albert actually offer loans up to $10,000. And I have made previous videos on this. Okay, so now it's a different platform they use for that $10,000 loan. But starting with Albert, if you're worried about the hard pull on your credit, this is definitely one of those resources you should take a look at, especially if you're in the gig economy. And so when you're in the gig economy, I get it. You don't have that consistency of income. Now, where are you falling short is because if you're in the gig economy, you should operate as a registered business regardless. And the reason, not only to protect yourself, but if you have a registered business, there are lenders out there that will give you money regardless of your personal credit. Okay. And a lot of people end up leaving money on the table because they're not a registered business. If you need help with that, we actually have a service that actually helps you register your business as well. All right. Now, that's a place I would tell you to look at is MoneyLion. Not only do MoneyLion go up to $500, and it's with no credit check, no interest, no mandatory fees, right? So those are the type of loans that you're actually looking for when you're in an emergency. But also, MoneyLion, they also offer a loan up to $1,000 if you actually have their checking account. Okay, so that's an option for you as well. Now, talking about you guys that are in the gig economy, all right, this is Cashera. Okay, they give you instant loans, all right, up to $5,000. So if you're doing a side hustle, Google, Lyft, DoorDash, any type of side hustle, if you're a truck driver or something like that, and you need $5,000, and you know that you ain't got the best credit, but you do have the income, and you can show proof of income and stuff like that, then Cashera may be an option for you as well. Okay, so I would definitely tell you to take a look at this, because again, the lenders I'm looking at, they're not focused on what's your credit score, how's your DTI, your debt to income ratio and stuff. As a matter of fact, with this here Cashera, guess what? Even if you already took out a previous loan from Dave or from Albert or something like that, they are still flexible enough to still give you a loan. Now, speaking of that, the reason a lot of people end up getting denied loans, okay, is because when you have loans that are showing up on your personal credit, okay, and you have two loans or more, then a lot of lenders don't want to give you any more money because they look at you as a high risk, right? So that's the reason, another purpose for these here loans I'm talking about, because they're not going to show up on the credit. You trying to avoid showing up on the credit so that you don't have the high DTI. And so this is why these here type of lenders fall in line. Now, there's a platform, okay, called Lendesca. Now, they are a platform, all right, but they help you get up to $20,000, all right? And in terms of being in business, doing business, all you have to do is show at least 18, excuse me, not 18, 90 days in business. All right. Minimum scores is usually about a 550 credit score. Okay. 550. As a matter of fact, here's the qualification. Annual income is about 25,000. So you're basically making what, about 2100 $2,100 a month or something like that in order to qualify. That's 580 credit score. Okay. So excuse me, I said 90 days, actually 6 months. All right. But again, they're able to help you. So if you're a freelancer and you needing to get funding and stuff like that, then this may be an option for you because again, they go up to $20,000. Okay. Like I said, having a registered business and you have bad credit, there's a lot of lenders out there that will give you money. So if you need help choosing the right NAICS code, the right lendable code to get funding and stuff like that, you can schedule one-on-one consultation with us and we'll actually help you to structure the business, to build it up, also help with restoring the credit as well. Now, here's another thing. Let's talk about margin loans. And I talked about this in the previous video because a lot of people sleep on this. They may have debt portfolios, like stocks. Okay, so you may have they're called credit back loans, all right, but I call them margin loans because what they're doing, they're looking at your portfolio, the stock portfolio. You may have a 401k. A lot of people don't even know they may have old 401ks from an old job that they never cashed out. There's places out there that actually will help you get that money back. As a matter of fact, I used to talk about many websites and I put up a video. If you type in a margin loan, I'll make a video, okay, telling you guys that where to go to check if you see if you have any um, old 401ks and stuff. And that way you don't have to pay a service in order to get it. Okay. But those margin loans definitely help because you're able to borrow against your stock portfolio instead of selling it. Okay. So that's the reason why that this is so important. Another place is Edward Jones. Now, here's the thing about it I like about Edward Jones, and we were talking about Fidelity. Also, with Fidelity as well as Edward Jones, they offer credit cards as well. And here's the best part: they're through Elon Financial. Okay, and so with those credit cards, guess what? They give you higher limits. And the best part about it, like Edward Jones, they offer the personal credit cards and the business credit cards. With Fidelity, they just offer the personal credit, but it's a FICO 9 scoring. Okay, because it uses Elon Financial, so it's a FICO 9 scoring. Okay. And so if you need help with restoring your credit to be able to get easier credit cards with higher limits and stuff like that, click the link in the description, schedule a one-on-one consultation. Now, as I promised to you guys, I was telling you that you can actually get an interest-free loan. Okay. An interest-free loan. All right. Now, what I'm talking about is that with your filing your W-4 exempt, you do this for 3 to 4 months. Okay. And the reason you do this is going to stop the IRS from taking money out of your checking account. Okay. Because that's where, when people work in the majority of their money usually go into the IRS, at least 25 to 30% of that money. If that money was going back into your check for at least 3 to 4 months, how fast it would be for you to pay down your debt? Put it in the comments. Have you ever used your W-4 exempt to be able to get caught up on the bills? Or have you ever just used your W-4 to file exempt? And all that takes is you just reaching out to your HR and making sure you don't owe any back taxes and stuff. And say, I'd like to file exempt. Okay. Now they're going to ask you, okay, what it's for, be able to catch up on some bills, right? So most of the time they won't even ask you what it's for. They'll just file the paperwork for you. It may not kick in that first pay period. It may kick in that following pay period. But once that extra, you see that extra 200 up to $1,000 dollars in your paycheck, now you're in a better position to be able to pay down your debt. Okay. And it's an interest free loan because it's actually your money, right? It's actually your money. So this is definitely an option for you. Now, if you guys stay in the LA area, there's a loan, okay? And this here loan is from the Jews. I call it the Jewish loan. It's because with this here loan, it's zero interest, zero free loans, okay? And so what they do is they give loans up to $20,000, all right? And in terms of you to qualify, you have to be in the LA area. However, I always tell people, call this institution. Let them know what city or state you're in, and you request to see if they have any other religious organizations that you can possibly reach out to that actually offer these type of loans. Now, the interesting thing about this, not only do they offer these type of loans just on a personal side, but they actually offer it on the business side as well. As a matter of fact, on the business side, they offer up to $50,000. Up to $50,000, 20,000 on the personal loan. But this is definitely a resource if you don't want to pay any interest on the loans and you're in these areas here. Again, even if you're not in these areas, I would still reach out to them and ask them, hey, I'm in a financial bind and I need to get um, some bills paid and stuff like that. What resources that you may match me up with that I can actually find? Okay. And so they will actually do their due diligence to try to help you out. Texas, if you're in Texas, oh my goodness, you have the United um, I'll have to show you the website. So if you're in Texas and you want me to make a separate video just on loans in Texas, or if you're in the state and you're still watching this video, type in your state and say, hey, make loans just on this here state. And I'll look for loans and stuff and I'll make videos just on that state. All right. Does that sound fair? Just as long as you subscribe and share the videos. Again, YouTube doesn't show my videos and stuff. So I've been struggling to get my content out there, and this is the only way I can get you all to help me if you share, and comment. Okay. So I really appreciate that. Now, a last resource I told you about getting your bills paid. This is Findhelp. Okay. Findhelp.org. This is one of the best resources in the United States. And the reason is because with this here resource, all you do, you go here, you look for your state. Okay. And when you look for your state, all you're looking for, let's say you're in Georgia, okay? And what they're doing, they're going to give you all of the social programs in your county, okay? Click in Georgia, then you click on like you're in I don't know all of the. Let's just say you're in Marietta or whatever for food pantries, cash assistance program in Marietta, housing assistance programs. So they have different ones, and then you just click on it, and then you reach out to them. Okay, and so by you reaching out to them, what they're going to do, they're going to try to find a system not only to help you pay your rent, but help pay your light, gas, water. If you have a baby, getting resources for your baby. If you have medical needs, getting resources for your medical needs. So there's so many opportunities to get the help you need, especially when you're struggling and you maxed out credit cards, you can't get a loan, and you just need a little help. All right. So that's the reason why I made this video. If you have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.